Okay, so a few days ago at the World Economic Forum in Davos, you might have heard European leaders all celebrating because they've announced a new social media platform called Wocial, where you will have to verify who you are with a photo ID and everything to use the platform. This, in their words, will help combat misinformation online and hatred and all that sort of thing, because they take away all of your anonymity online, so everything you post has to be lawful, and if it's not lawful, then you're going to prison, basically. You can't blame me for saying that. I live in London, and we arrest 12,000 people every year for social media posts. And let's not forget, about a week ago, the UK government was threatening to ban X, and now they've banned VPNs, and it's a whole thing. But in this video, we're talking about Wocial, and I found something interesting about Wocial's parent company. That's right, Wocial is a subsidiary to another social media app, which you probably didn't know about, and that social media app's founder and the guy making Wocial has an interesting history. You're watching This Brand Geek? Let's get into the video. Okay, so first things first, I'll give you a quick outline of Wocial. So Wocial is a new social networking app being made by Europe for Europeans. And in this app, you need to verify who you are with a photo ID, otherwise you can't use the platform. So you are being held to account for everything that you say on this platform. Now, of course, this social media app has a CEO, and that CEO's name is Anna Zietler. And she actually worked for eBay for the last 11.5 years. She started off as the head of data protection, rising to the chief privacy officer, associate general counsel for privacy, data and AI governance, and vice president for privacy, AI and data responsibility. She left eBay in December last year, so like a month ago, and she's now the CEO of Wocial. I tried to look into everything about Anna Zietler and honestly couldn't really find anything too interesting about her. So let's move on to the interesting thing that I did find about Wocial, and that is that Wocial is not just a brand new social network, it's actually a subsidiary to an existing social network called We Don't Have Time. So check this out. This right here is that social networking app. It's called We Don't Have Time, and it's the world's largest media platform for climate action. Apparently they have like 700,000 members or something. This is what they say about their network. Welcome to We Don't Have Time. We are democratizing knowledge about climate solutions to inspire and mobilize global action towards a prosperous fossil-free future. And then they have all these posts here. And if you go here on the top right, this is the actual social network loading up here. And as you can see, all of their videos autoplay, which drives me crazy. And then you have all these posts. And you might notice that a lot of these posts are anti-Trump. Well, they were when I looked at it a few seconds ago. But it's all about climate change and how we're destroying the planet. They even have a hat like the Make America Great Again hat, but instead it says Make Science Great Again. So lots of news outlets were actually saying that Wocial will combat X. So it'll be like the European version of X, so everyone can get off X, sign up to Wocial with their photo ID, and then everyone can just be nice to each other online. In my opinion, this looks more like Facebook. But anyways, that's besides the point, because what we really need to look at is who is the founder of We Don't Have Time. Now, the founder of We Don't Have Time is a guy called Ingmar Rentzhog. Sorry if I'm butchering your name, but that's just how I'm reading it. This guy is a Swedish serial entrepreneur. He's done a lot of stuff in his past, but the main thing that he is doing is he founded We Don't Have Time, the social network I just showed you, and he is now also creating Wocial. But the funny thing that I found about Ingmar was, if you look at this article here, and if you zoom in a bit, Ingmar is the founder and CEO of We Don't Have Time, the social network for fighting the climate crisis. Ingmar discovered and gave visibility to Greta Thunberg, from her lonely protest in front of the Swedish parliament to her first speech at the UN. This is the guy who discovered and gave a platform to Greta Thunberg. But it gets better. And it gets kind of funny because, so he coincidentally took pictures of her giving her protest outside the Swedish parliament. And I say coincidentally because he's saying that it was just a coincidence, and then he gave her a platform, and then it went viral, and then Greta Thunberg became this massive force for climate change, right?
How dare you?
But the thing is, it turns out that he may not have coincidentally just taken pictures of her at her school protest, because it later came out that he knew her mum, and he was talking to her mum months before he coincidentally took pictures of Greta at this parliamentary protest. But the even more funny thing is this. Check out this headline right here. Teen climate icon used for fundraising without her knowledge. So this guy founded Greta Thunberg, gave her a platform, and then apparently he exploited her. Now, those aren't my words. Those are Greta's words. So let's take a look at this article. Teen climate icon used for fundraising without her knowledge. A Swedish climate startup says it didn't exploit Greta Thunberg. So there's a picture of Greta doing what Greta does. A Swedish climate startup admitting to using teenage climate activist Greta Thunberg to attract investments without her knowledge. The company, called We Don't Have Time, rejected accusations by the Swedish newspaper Svenska Dagbladet that it had exploited 16-year-old Thunberg, but it did admit that it failed to inform the Thunberg family in advance that Greta would be mentioned in our financial prospectus, a document aimed at raising funds for the company. And apparently they mentioned her in that prospectus 11 times without permission or her knowledge or her family's knowledge. I mean, she's just 16 and they're just plastering her name all over their prospectus to raise funds for their company. The founder and CEO Ingmar then went on to say, "We're very sorry that we didn't inform them of this. We Don't Have Time describes itself as a good cause company, which is building a for-profit climate-focused social media network. Our goal is to become the Facebook of climate change." Hey, I said it looked more like Facebook. Greta's father told Politico over the phone that neither Greta nor her parents had been informed by the company. "They have confessed they have not told us. Greta has not been informed and nobody has informed me or her mother." The other thing is, after he discovered Greta, they then had her as like a youth advisor to We Don't Have Time, and she was there for a few months and then she decided to leave. Maybe she left because they were exploiting her. I'm just saying, I don't know, but that is kind of what it looks like. The thing is, this became such a big deal that We Don't Have Time actually had to put out a press release about it. And here's that press release right here from 2019. We Don't Have Time rejects accusations of exploiting Greta Thunberg, but apologizes for miscommunication. Swedish good cause company We Don't Have Time has been accused of exploiting climate activist Greta Thunberg. Ms. Thunberg has acted as youth advisor to the foundation, which is the company's main owner. Her participation has been accurately described in the company's financial prospectus, according to Ingmar Rentzhog. It's correct that Greta Thunberg is mentioned several times in the 120-page document produced in connection with our new issue last year. We failed to inform the Thunberg family in advance that Greta would be mentioned in our financial prospectus, a document aimed at raising funds for the company. Anyways, the rest is on your screen right now if you want to pause it and have a read. There's nothing else too interesting, but they did raise like $1.5 million from that prospectus by exploiting Greta 11 times in their 120-page document. But whatever, that's just what I'm seeing there, and that's what I'm trying to tell you guys about. The point of this video is to let you know who is making WSocial. So WSocial is being made by a Swedish entrepreneur who currently has a social media network for climate change. And the founder and CEO of that social network is also the founder of Greta Thunberg. Oh, and I also forgot to mention that Ingmar Rentzhog was also chairman of the board of something called the Global Utmaning, which translates to Global Challenge, and it's a whole climate change thing. But the interesting thing with that, Global Utmaning was founded by someone called Kristina Persson. Now, Kristina Persson is a member of parliament for the Swedish government. Well, she was a member of parliament for the Social Democrats in Sweden, and then she later became a member of the European Parliament, and then she did a bunch of other stuff. So Ingmar Rentzhog, the founder and creator of We Don't Have Time, and by extension WSocial, and the founder of Greta Thunberg, was also the chairman of the board for a global challenge think tank founded by a member of parliament for the Social Democrats. I found that very interesting, and it kind of tells you everything you need to know about WSocial and what their intention is. I mean, it is a subsidiary, a direct subsidiary of We Don't Have Time, which is this whole climate change social networking platform, and it's being created by allegedly a very left-leaning founder and CEO who has ties with a member of parliament of the Social Democrats in Sweden. Now, I don't know who needs to hear this, but I found it interesting nonetheless, and I want to share it with you guys. So when WSocial does inevitably launch in Europe, will you be signing up and scanning your photo ID and uploading it to their servers so you can post and have a happy time with everyone else in Europe, just being nice to each other? And on the off chance you say something that someone doesn't agree with and they know exactly who you are, and then maybe you too can be a statistic in the UK, joining the other 12,000 people being arrested for social media posts. I don't know, I'm just putting it out there. I thought it was interesting that the founder of this social network also founded Greta Thunberg, and then she accused him of exploiting her. I mean, that's just crazy, right? Anyways, I hope you found this video informative or interesting or even entertaining. If you did, please drop it a like and let me know what you think of this. Will you join this social network? What's your take on what I just showed you about the founder and CEO of W Social? Sound off in the comments, and like I said, if you found this video informative or entertaining in any way, then please give it a like and do consider subscribing if you haven't already. You've been watching This Brown Geek. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.